So our second lesson that we're going to look at this week is geometric series. So that's when we are summing the first particular number of terms of a geometric sequence. The formula is written right there. So for this one, it's a little bit different than what we need for the arithmetic sequence, or arithmetic series rather. For this one, we need to know what the first term is. We need to know what our common ratio is, and we need to know the total number of terms. So again, this one is a little different. If you remember the arithmetic one, we need to know the first term, the number of terms, but the difference there is that we also need to know the last term. So in this case, the last term is not that important to us. What I will point out, and you might see it in future classes or in college courses, there is also a formula for the infinite geometric sequence. We are just going to focus on finite number of terms, so counting a specific number of terms rather than in the infinite formula. So make sure you've got this formula down in your notes. If by chance you need to use your calculator to do any calculations here, make sure that this denominator is in parentheses. Otherwise, it's gonna burn you if you figure out your numerator in your calculator and then you do divided by 1 minus that ratio. Order of operations is going to kill you on that one. So make sure that if you are putting it all in your calculator at once, use parentheses. Okay, so the first example that we're going to look at, the sum of the finite geometric series. And again, with this one, we're given our last term, but this formula does not require our last term. So what we need to know for this is our first term, which we have as 3. We need to know our common ratio. So the way that we're going to do that calculation, we take a later term and divide it by the term before. So our common ratio for this one is going to be 2. And now our issue is that we need to know the number of terms. And that right now is a big old question mark for us. We know what our last term is, so we need to figure out what number term that last term represents. So the way I'm going to do that is to fall back on my geometric sequence formula. So I'm going to write that kind of up here at the top. So that sequence formula was a sub n is equal to the first term times the common ratio to the n minus 1 power. And as I'm writing this, I'm realizing I'm going to run out of space up there. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it in a different spot. All right, let's try that again. So I'm going to use my explicit formula. Okay, I'm going to fill in what I have. So I know that my a sub n term is that last term, 3072. So I'm trying to figure out what number term does 3072 represent. So I'm going to fill in, I've got my first term, which was 3. I know that my common ratio is a 2. And then we've got to the n minus 1 power. So in order to solve this, I need to get this piece all by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to grab my calculator and do that. So divided by 3 ends up being 1024. Okay, and usually this is the time that I love at the end of the year. I'm like, hey guys, remember how do we solve when we've got an exponential or a variable in our exponent? And then you guys all look at me like, oh, what? It's like 80 degrees outside, I don't really care. And I go, with logarithms. And then you guys get all upset with me. And then I say, you need to remember logs because the final is coming. But with this, you don't really need to remember logs because the final isn't coming. So you don't really need to remember them until pre-calc. But stick with me here, and then we'll talk about another workaround. So the way that I would solve this using logs is log base 2 of 1024 is equal to n minus 1. And then I'm going to put that in my calculator. If you don't have one of the fancy ones, then you're going to have to do change a base. But those of you with the fancy one that does the logs for you, it's going to be log base 2 of 1024, and then we're going to get 10. So 10 is equal to n minus 1, and then solve for n, so add 1 to the other side, so 11 is equal to n. Oh my goodness, isn't that awesome? But really, if that's making you want to cry, then just go back here and think about this, and you're thinking to yourself, 2 to what power gives me 1024? Like, chug through it on your calculator, figure out that, figure out what the answer to that would be. So 2 to the 10th would be 1024, right? Is that right? Yeah, 2 to the 10th is 1024, and then solve from there, right? So if that's what you got to do, then do it that way. So now that we know that n is equal to 11, now I can go back to my formula and solve for my sum. So my sum for this one, my sum of this geometric series is equal to my first term times 1 minus my rate to the 11th power, all divided by 1 minus my rate. So it ends up that my sum for this one I pop that into my calculator, I'm going to come up with 6141 as my answer. All right, next one. Okay, I promise this one's going to be a lot shorter than that first one. So this is that summation or sigma notation. Now, this is not a formula. This is just a way of me presenting material and information to you. So again, this sigma is not a formula. It just tells you what things are. So when I'm looking at this, this 7 up here, that tells you your number of terms. So because we're starting at 1, the number of terms that I'm summing here is 7 terms. The other thing we need is our ratio. So that's our ratio. Our ratio is equal to 2 over 3. And then our a sub 1 is buried in here. It's right there. So our first term is actually 1. So I'm going to just use everything I just pulled from this summation notation and plug it into my formula. So my sum is equal to my first term, 1 minus my rate to the 7th power, all divided by 1 minus 2/3. And this is where I was saying, if you're just plugging all of this into your calculator, make sure that you are using parentheses for your denominator so that you don't get bit by this one. I think on Math Excel, it by and large is just letting you use it as or put in a decimal. If it did ask you for a fraction, you would need to go to Math and then Frac to turn the decimal into a fraction. But I'm pretty sure that Math Excel is accepting of decimals on these. So I'm going to go to 2 decimal places. So I got 2.82. Okay, so let's look at a word problem here. So to save money for a vacation, I'm setting aside $100, and then each month thereafter I plan to set aside 10% more. Okay, let's talk about this. This 10% more situation, that is equivalent of, I'm setting aside 100, oops. I'm setting aside 100% and then 10% more. So my ratio, my common ratio is equal to 1.1. Again, 100% of it and then 10% more. So 1.1 is my ratio. Make sure that you understand that. You're going to see it in Math Excel. Again, I promise you. Okay, so how much am I going to save in 12 months? So 12 months is my number of terms. So n is equal to 12. My initial amount, my a sub 1, is equal to 100. So I end up with putting this into my summation formula here. So my first term, 1.1 to the 12th divided by 1 minus 1.1. And for this one, when I put it all into my calculator, I end up saving 2,138 and 43 cents over those 12 months. All right, last problem here. So I've got two options. First, I could get an allowance each week of $1,000 per week. And right now that sounds like pretty enticing. $1,000 per week for 26 weeks. So option one ends up being $26,000. And like initially in my gut, that sounded like maybe that's the option I want to pick. But let's check out that option two. So option two is 2 cents for the first week, 4 cents, 8 cents, and so on. So this is actually exponential growth that's happening here for 26 weeks. So let's see what the sum of all of those weeks would be added together. So, oops, this was option one. So option two. So for option two, I'm going to have an initial amount of 2 cents. My ratio, it's doubling each week. So each week my allowance doubles. So that's a ratio of 2. And then the number of weeks is 26. So if I substitute this all into my formula, to 26, all divided by 1 minus 2. It turns out that I will have an astronomical amount of money. The power of exponential growth. Over those weeks, my allowance, I would haul in over $1 million. So that 26,000 is looking pretty ridiculous right now, and I am definitely going with option two. All right, so that wraps up the lessons. That actually wraps up all of the lessons for remote learning. So those of you who have been sticking with me through all of the lessons, I can't thank you enough. I miss you guys so much, and I really just wish that we were face-to-face in the classroom and not doing this over video, but I certainly appreciate all of the hard work that you have put in here the second half of this semester. So have a great summer. If I don't get a chance to see you, hopefully you'll pop on a Zoom call and be able to say goodbye. But let me know if you've got any questions. The test is coming up at the end of this week, so make sure that you are reaching out to me if I can help you out in any way. Take care.